Okay. What is up, Copy Squad? It's your boy Kyle Milligan coming to you live from Boca Raton, Florida. A little late today to talk to you about three must-haves for your copy. And these are very important things because they're kind of like yes or no's. Like if you have to have them, and if you mess them up or you don't have them, the rest of the copy is worthless. Like it's not like it doesn't suffer. It literally just cannot work. It will be a mess. So one thing I want to tease before I begin is a hint at what one of those three things are, and that is to say that every ad should have a single purpose. And while this video is meant to educate you, that is not its purpose. The purpose of this video is not to pitch you on any of my products. Even though I just realized I have my pitch graphic up there already. Whoops, I didn't mean to have that on here. I actually have a specific purpose for this video at the end it's very unique. It's something I've never done before, so I kind of would like you to hang out just for like 5 minutes. I'll make this quick so that I can get to that purpose because it's really important. But anyway, so today we had our Copy Squad conference call, which Copy Squad, accidentally pitched. But and I saw this happen in one of the Facebook ads that we reviewed as a group today, and it was these three must-haves. They were just they were basically present but not present, and I'll explain by going through each and every single one of them why you can kind of have one, but that means you don't have it at all. Okay, so the first thing you've got to have is one problem, and I noticed that I've done this before. For instance, when I wrote the first draft of the hottest IPO promo for Agora Financial, and that was a James Altucher promo like way back in the day. It was the first one I ever wrote. My copy chief absolutely slaughtered it. It was terrible. It didn't work. And one of the big things that I got in feedback from him and my other copywriting peers who reviewed it with us was that I had 15 different problems going on. Like I was going to solve this thing, I was going to solve that thing, I was going to solve this thing. My thing was going to fix everything in the world. Okay, so one of the things that you want to establish before you sit down to write is what problem are you solving? This kind of goes back to the whole research thing where you have to know your target audience and know what specific problems they're facing. Now in the Facebook ad that we were reviewing today, I noticed something very specific, which was the unspecificity of the problem itself. There was an intro with like listing a problem and then some pain points, which is kind of what you want to do. I said in the last video, you don't want to lead with your product, you want to create the need. So he did that. He created the need. He said, hey, you need to have this, and if you don't have this, well, you're going to have a problem. And then before he really dove into that or committed to that problem, he introduced another problem. And it was like a sort of related but different problem. Like, okay, so here's your problem with your health. Okay, now here's your problem with your family. Okay, now here's your problem for that. And before he finally ever got around to it, before he ever got around to introducing the product or a mechanism or anything like that, he had introduced about 4 different problems that were kind of all over the place. And I think it kind of creates this Frankenstein copy sort of thing where you lose me. Like one moment I'm like, yeah, I get that. And then all of a sudden you shift gears like, wait, not only that, it'll also be bad over here. So I think one of the things, and there's 3 things. The first thing you've got to have is one problem. Okay, so let's think about financial copywriting, where I work, the space that I'm in. Your problem is you don't have enough money in your retirement. Plain and simple, okay? So what you need to do when you have established one problem is I'm not going to talk about my stock pick is going to save your marriage because you're arguing with your wife all the time over money. No, my promise, my product or my offering or whatever is going to solve one problem. That's your money problem, okay? Pick one problem and attack it. Now, that's not to say you can't show other benefits, and that's what we're going to get in the minutia here in just a second. So I've got one problem, okay? So what's the second thing I've got to have? I've got to have one solution. So in financial space again, my one problem is you don't have enough money for retirement. So what's the solution? Well, I've got this opportunity for you. If you get in on this opportunity, it will solve that problem. It will solve your money problem. Now, when we're talking about problem and solution, that becomes like a one-to-one thing. One problem, one solution. However, the benefits can be many. You can have a plethora of benefits, right? And that's where you get into those other things, okay? So when you open up your copy, you need to establish the need. You need to set up that problem, that one problem, right? And then you need to create a solution, but you don't want to introduce the solution right here. This is where it gets a little tricky, okay? So you don't introduce the solution first. First, you introduce the mechanism, okay? So that's the third thing you've got to have is the mechanism, all right? So I'm going to draw out the whole storyline for you now. You got a problem. I should have started over here. You got a problem, you got a solution, and then you've got a mechanism that makes that solution work. So here's how you're basically going to see it laid out. Like, hey, you don't have enough money for retirement. Well, I have found the single best opportunity of a lifetime, or I would say something like in the last video we talked about there's one idea that I discovered that'll change the game. Okay, so it's part of the solution is this mechanism. It's the mechanism that makes everything work. Okay, so you've got one problem, one solution, one mechanism. Then once you get through, like I tell you, hey man, I had this problem. All right, think of it like this. I had this problem. I discovered this one thing. Now my life is better. You see how that works? I had this problem. I had one problem. I discovered this one thing, and now my life is better. Okay, so think of it like that. Think of it very linearly like that. So whenever you're writing, don't try to find this problem, that problem, this problem, that problem. Okay, I had this problem. I found this one thing, and now my whole life is better. Now, I can introduce those other problems as benefits. So for instance, we said that my problem was lack of money. My solution is I'm going to get you a bunch of money. And the mechanism is the system, the stock picking system that makes it all work, right? So that's the thing that goes in the middle, okay? And remember, it's 1, 1, and 1. I'm not going to say I have a problem with my marriage is going all awry and my kids don't like me because we don't have any money and we fight all the time about finances and it's just a very tense living environment. No, that becomes part of the benefits. So you don't lead with that. That's not your big problem, okay? So you instead say, look, I had a problem. I found the secret system and it's changed my whole life. I've got all the money in the world now. And as a result, I get to take my wife and family out for vacations. I get to donate to charities and my church. I'm now like a community leader where I used to be a community moocher, and everything's just so much better for me now. And I think the big thing about these 3 must-haves is it's 1, 1, 1, all right? One problem, one solution, one mechanism, okay? One problem, one solution, one mechanism. Don't get tied up in all these other things, all right? I had one issue that I found one mechanism solved, okay? And that was what we saw in the Copy Squad Inner Circle today when we were reviewing copy was this guy put together. Yes, he led with the need, which is what you're supposed to do. You don't just come out and say, hey, buy my product. You lead, you start creating the need, all right? But then he started creating more needs by introducing more problems and expanding on those. And then he introduced a new problem and he expanded on that one. He introduced a new, I was like, no, just one problem, one mechanism, one solution, and then take all those other things that you think are lesser problems, okay? And those are solved as benefits as a result of that big problem. So when people talk about making a big promise, that's what was lacking. That was what was missing. What is your one big promise? Okay, and then you can make that, like the promise is the thing that goes from problem to solution, and then the mechanism gets dropped right there in the middle, okay? So your problem, no money. Solution, tons of money, right? So the big promise is I'm going to get you from problem to solution. Big promise, I will get you $100,000 in 90 days. Okay, that's a big promise, something like that. Big promise is I know my stock picking system will get you 300% returns twice a week, every week for the rest of your life, okay? Problem solution, and that's the big promise, okay? So what was the mechanism? Well, I said it in both of those promises. The mechanism is within my promise. My stock picking system will get you there, okay? This hot stock tip will get you $1 million, right? There's some sort of mechanism. There's something in the middle between the problem and the solution. It's called a mechanism, okay? And it will solve all the problems, does all the work for you. So those are the 3 must-haves in your copy, and they're all ones, okay? One problem, one solution, fixed, joined, like intertwined or whatever, brought together by one mechanism. Now, at the beginning of this video, I said I had something that I was going to say that was completely like a non sequitur. I didn't know how to introduce it, so I just said it. I said I had something I was going to do that I've never done before in one of these videos, and that is I'm going to ask you a favor that isn't necessarily directly a pitch. Yes, if you want to get on some of that hot feedback for copy, you can join the Copy Squad Inner Circle at kylethewriter.com/squad. But what I really want from you is I'm working on a new sales letter, or I'm trying to get ads running on different platforms for the book. I want to start trying some ads marketing. And one thing I'm totally missing is all the testimonials and feedback I got via email, Facebook Messenger, Facebook comments, YouTube comments. I was just too lazy to compile them. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, that's neat. And that gave me good feels. And I just moved on with my life. And I didn't copy and paste it or do anything with them. if my book, okay, if my book Take Their Money, if you've read it, if it's helped you in any single way, in any aspect of your life, the more specific you could get, the better. Could you please drop a comment on this video so I can grab like all of them? On this video, can you please tell me how my book has positively impacted like your business, like your online marketing, like even if it's got you a job, right? I know I've helped some people get jobs at different financial publishing places by using New, Easy, Safe, and Big inside their applications. So any aspect of New, Easy, Safe, and Big, any aspect to Take Their Money that has measurably improved your life in some way, if you could drop that result in a comment, please don't do it in the live chat here. We're live right now. Please drop it in a comment so that I can have them all in one place. Okay, I'm gonna repost this on Facebook. It's on YouTube Live right now. But yeah, that was my bad. I appreciate all the awesome feedback I've gotten. I did start grabbing snippets and copying and pasting some of those because I want those kinds of results and testimonials to be a part of my sales platform or my marketing platform when I'm writing my own sales letter for the book, because I basically just haven't been collecting them and storing them anywhere to make it work in organized fashion. So please, if anything I've done has ever helped you sell more stuff or get a job or write a letter that resulted in dollars or cents or anything, please drop a comment in this video below. And if you would like me to work with you on your copy in a group setting, like today we had our conference call, the Copy Squad Inner Circle, you can go to kylewriter.com/squad and sign up for that there. I'm going to let you know that the price of this service will definitely be going up because I was scrolling through the library now. I have several weeks worth of trainings, sales letter breakdowns, and conference call recordings that are all now in our library. So it wouldn't make sense for someone to come in and have all that backlog of material plus new material at the same exact price. So I'm going to be creating like a tiered, like the price is going to steadily rise over time. So just, I call that an urgency play, right? Like I'm not sure when, but it's coming. Like it is 100% fact that the price will go up. So you now know, all right? So you're ahead of the game here. I'm gonna check to see if we've got any feedback or anything yet. Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, so recapping, the 3 must-haves you must have for your copy. 1 problem, 1 solution that is solved by 1 mechanism, okay? So this seems out of order. Problem, solution, the mechanism gets dropped in the middle, right? I lack money for retirement. My stock picking system will get you money for retirement. See how that works? Okay. And don't get it mixed up. Not 2 problems, 3 problems, 4 problems. If you have multiple problems that you can solve, those are your benefits. Okay? Think of it like that. You made all this money. Now you can fix your shed because you have all this money. Now you can get your kids a golden retriever and it has a big lawn to go play on, and you can get them a pony, and you can buy them a nice pool, and you can take your wife on vacation, and you can go visit the pyramids in Egypt. You can do all that stuff now, right? Before you don't list those as their own sections of problems and start talking about the problems all over in a copy. Like, have you ever wanted to go to Egypt? Well, now you can't because instead, 1 problem solved by 1 mechanism dropped in the middle results in 1 solution. All those other things take care of themselves. Okay, those are benefits. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm gonna check one more time. Nope, don't see anything coming through. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, feel free to join the Copy Squad Inner Circle. And if I have ever given you any sort of value, I would say specifically from my book, Take Their Money, if anything about New, Easy, Safe, and Big has helped you create money or move forward in your career, please drop your results in the comments box below. I would love to garner up like 1 big batch of testimonials in one place where I can find them all. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Peace out, Copy Squad.